Um, so let me welcome everyone to section C1, Collaborative Practices, a Student Perspective. My name is Richard Della Cuadra, and today is November 5th. And so we're going to head and get started. Just a few things as we get started. I want to ask a favor of everyone. I would like to, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to ask everyone to turn off their video except for myself and the student participants as a way to highlight those of us that are going to be engaged in conversation initially. The premise behind our meeting today is to hear from students about a relational approach to education and what that may mean to them. And the way that we'd like to do this today is I am going to take an opportunity and interview a few of these young men and women. We'll probably do that for about 20 minutes or so. And afterwards, we'll invite you to join the conversations and bring your curiosities about what our conversation sparks. So let's go ahead and get started. So very first thing I'd like to do is ask my students to unmute themselves and really quickly introduce themselves. And you can introduce yourself if you don't mind. Tell us your name, grade level, and maybe how long you've been at Xavier.
Good evening. I'm Meenakshi Jha from Delhi, India.
Welcome, welcome.
I'm a government school teacher.
Yeah, so if you don't mind, just really for a moment right now, I'm inviting the three students that are going to be part of our panel today to introduce themselves. So Ella, why don't you start? Tell us your name, grade level, and how long you've been at Xavier.
Hi, I'm Ella. I'm a senior at Xavier, and I've been there since second semester my freshman year.
Leo?
My name's Leo Gordon. I'm a senior as well at Xavier. And like Ella, I've been here since my second semester of my freshman year.
Cool. Owen?
Hello, I'm Owen. I'm a junior at Xavier, and I've been at this school since 8th grade.
So guys, we have some visitors with us that may not know much about the school or may not know much about Xavier. So if you guys don't mind, just take an opportunity. What do you think is important for people to know about our school?
Can I just go? Or are we going in turns or something?
Yeah.
I just want to say that everyone, like students and faculty, are really put on the same level, just from the beginning. We go by a first name basis at our school, which was kind of one of the first things to catch my eye. So it just shows a level of respect to everyone.
For me, the teachers really do break down assignments for me. That's something I have had an issue with in the past, and I find it helpful for the teacher to really actually think about what's the best way for me to complete something. So it's the best way for me to learn because they're actually asking how I learn.
The teachers here are they're in the same boat as you, and they're in your corner, and they'll advocate for you. And not only that, but if you're curious about something, you can ask them, and they'll go out of their way to make sure that you get that knowledge and you're satisfied. Your curiosity is satisfied. That's really cool.
Thank you for sharing that, guys. I just wanted to give folks a little insight into Xavier. We are a fully accredited small private school here in Houston, Texas. And one of the things that stands out is, I believe, our relational approach to education. And that's a little bit of what we're going to talk about. So if you guys don't mind, again, Ella, Leo, and Owen, tell us a little bit about what brought you to Xavier.
I'll go ahead.
Okay, I go for Leo.
All right. I went to a big public school initially, about 3,000 kids in the whole school. And I had accommodations for my ADHD, but they're not ones that were helpful to me. I didn't feel like I needed extra time. I just needed extra help with organization. And that led to me not doing so well at the big public arena. And I found that Xavier was a much better fit.
I came to Xavier after like a pretty long history of struggling with some mental health issues, and I just kind of reached a point where I was like, high school and school just doesn't need to be this way. So that's when I came across Xavier, and I just kind of felt at home, and I never left. So
Can I speak now?
If you don't mind, we're going to run an interview for 15, 20 minutes, and then we'll open it up to the panelists.
So I came to Xavier after being at a small Jewish private school, and I felt that, you know, the teachers and the students weren't really the best fit for me. Students, they had their friend groups and they stuck to that. And at Xavier, everyone is your friend, and it's a really close knit family group, and it's awesome. And the teachers at my old school, they didn't really care about you. It was more the coursework and getting through that rather than satiating your knowledge and making sure that you understanding the materials. And here it's so different. They actually care for you, and it's really awesome.
So you guys have all been invited to be here at a conference that's titled Education as Relating. So when you hear
Actually,
that,
even I want to share my views. Can I?
please go ahead.
Yeah, so a teacher, according to me, is like a facilitator, a guide, a torch bearer who just takes you from ignorance to knowledge, and who just takes you from darkness to light. He's the guide, he's the lover, he's your parent at times when you need them, and he's your friend whenever you need their support. And he can be like a parent who can chide you at times if you are going astray. So a teacher plays a very important role in the part of a student. And so far as my friends in my room, they have mentioned, what I have felt that they had their notions about the teacher according to their own experiences, based on their own biases and prejudices. So when somebody has not have a better experience with the teacher or the friends or the school environment, she likes to have a negative opinion about it. But whosoever has got a better environment, a better treatment from the teacher or the school or the friends or the entire environment, they have better notions about it. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So guys, coming back to you, Leo, Ella, Owen, and having just heard, and please excuse me if I mispronounce your name, Meenakshi, how has the role of the teacher made a difference for you guys?
Well, for me, I have, over the past couple of years, just really enjoyed math class and become closer with my lovely calculus teacher, Anne. And I just enjoy going in and working with her on things, not even for my class. I've had the opportunity to TA for her, and for me, it's a career opportunity. And I just appreciate that she's just taking me under her wing. She's going out of her way, truly.
Thank you, Leo.
I came from the public school system, so it was a big jump, like from having teachers like that who didn't really demonstrate a lot of care towards you or like their jobs to go into Xavier, where immediately I was shown like just I was behind, and I was immediately able to catch up and work with my teachers in the mornings and afternoons. They would stay early and late for me, like whatever I needed, they were there. And throughout my time at Xavier, I've really been able to confide in them and just like everyday stuff, just like needing some guidance in life, I can go to them. So it's more than just in a classroom relationship.
I can recall having long conversations with my former chemistry teacher, in which we would just talk about various things I had questions over, and ethics in general, because I was also taking his ethics course. And it was a lot of fun. It was nice to have someone who was there and could answer your questions as they arose, and had a dialogue with you as a fellow human being, rather than this narrative of having this structure in which you are supposed to learn this way and in this manner, and there's no escape from that. And so it's just really lovely.
So one of the things that comes to mind as I hear all the three of you share your experience is these relationships that you have with your teachers. And oftentimes I get asked if that jeopardizes the academics in the classroom, right? If by paying attention to these connections and these relationships, we learn less, or we move away from what academically happens in a classroom. Can you guys talk to that a little bit?
I would say no. If anything, it makes us more engaged in a class when we know like we have a personal relationship with that teacher. Like everything they're saying is just like, I don't know, it registers more with us. Like I don't know, as teenagers, we kind of have a thing where we like to go against adults. And so when we respect and have a relationship with them, it's easier for us not to do that.
For me, it makes me care about the class. If I know like I want to make this teacher happy with me. I care about this teacher as a person, and they care about me as a person, and therefore my impression on them matters. So it makes me want to do well. Whereas at public schools, it's like, I don't know this person. Why does it matter? And I'm less invested.
Yeah, I agree with them. When you're investing time with someone and you can see that they're doing the same to you, they're investing time and effort into you, and it just makes you want to succeed. It makes you want to make them proud, because you know that they're with you, and they're striving to make you succeed, and you just, not only for them but for yourself, you don't want to let yourself down, and you don't want to let them down.
So if you guys were face to face with some of these teachers that have impacted you somehow, and you had an opportunity to say something to them, what would you want to say to them?
I would probably just say thank you for putting up with me, because my journey at Xavier definitely started a little differently than I am now. And part of the reason I've been able to really like mature and just kind of change is because of the Xavier environment. So I'd like to say thank you for sticking with me through that time.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to them for seeing the best. Because I mean, I'll tell them about things I struggle with. They're like, I just can't imagine you ever being bad. I only see you as a good person, and that means a lot. Yeah.
I'd want to say thank you for putting up with me and my incessant questions. If you don't know me, well, most of you don't, I ask a lot of questions. Most of them are off topic, but they always treat my questions with the utmost respect, and they answer them, and it makes me feel better, and it doesn't demean myself and my self-respect. And so I'd just like to say thank you to them for putting up with me.
So as I sit here and listen to you guys, I can't but feel pride in hearing the connections, the relationships, the incredible things that are happening. And at the same time, I come across some frustrations, right? Because I think a lot of people don't understand what happens at school. They misunderstand, misrepresent, or are not clear. Have you guys experienced anything like that as well?
Absolutely. I mean, most of my friends from my old schools were just kind of like, oh, you go to Xavier, like it does kind of like, I don't know, it can be perceived differently. And I'm not gonna lie, like when I first went into it, I was a little skeptical, but I mean, I've been there all this time. It's like, it's the way education and the school system should be. Like, we shouldn't accept the flaws and the constant struggles of students in the school system. Like, it needs to change, and Xavier is part of that change.
I do think that Xavier, or with me and some of the people I know, is looked down upon because you don't have kids doing 4 hours of homework every night, and you don't have kids, crying in the hallways over their 5 AP classes. Just because it's not this heavily structured pressure cooker, that it's not a solid education. And it is. We are trusted to do our work, and we are given work in the form of, I don't know, a lot of, in social studies and English, it's more Socratic and question based. So it's more suited to your curiosity, like Owen's been saying. And it fills the gaps that you have, instead of teaching you all the same exact thing.
A lot of my friends at my old school, they did look down upon it because it's an unconventional school, and they see unconventional as strange, as different, as not as good. You don't relate to something if you haven't experienced it and it's not normal to you. And so the irony is that a lot of them are at Xavier now, and they get to experience what I've told them, and they enjoy it. I can see them. Formerly, they were failing their classes and everything at a conventional school, and now they're succeeding, and I can see them thriving and actually having questions and having their questions answered. And it is very cool to have this relation with people who disagreed with me, but now they see the light, so to speak.
Could I add on really quick?
Of course.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that it's kind of taught me to really just focus on my opinion and what matters to me, and kind of drown out the noises of people that just don't really matter in that sense, because they've never been to Xavier and they don't know, like they haven't experienced a day. And if they did, they'd be like, this is where I want to go. I've had people in the past that have talked down about it before, and now they are there. So, and they love it. So it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's taught me to just really value my opinion and what I want to do what's best for me and not what's best for other people.
How cool. So before I open it up to the rest of us who are present, one last question. So for you guys, what's next? What's after Xavier?
I'm going to college.
Where?
That much is for sure. I have successfully gotten my applications in, and I'm looking to study mathematics, perhaps become a math teacher myself, or even a professor. I don't know. Something to do with math is certain.
What's your top choice? What are your top choices? Where are you hoping to go?
My top choice is Colorado College, and they have a block schedule where you only take one class at a time. So I'm going from one unconventional school to another.
Cool.
I as well just turned in all my college applications, and I'm going to tour some schools in the Northeast tomorrow, which is very exciting. Yeah, I'm actually applying to some schools that are considered like tiny Ivies, which is insane because I never thought I would be able to do that or accomplish something like that. So, yeah.
I am a junior, so I haven't yet started my college application process, but I am looking at some suitable colleges and universities. And I just hope to be able to lead people someday. At my old school, I was very shy, and somehow, in some way, I don't know how, I don't know why, but Xavier, it brought out a new me, someone who's outgoing and who cares for people and who can have conversations with people without like cowering in fear. And so it's awesome, and I just hope to use that one day in future jobs and to help people.
I hope that those of you that are present today are getting a little taste of what amazing young men and women we have at school. Just so proud of you guys. And so at this moment, if it's okay with you guys, I want to pause this conversation and open it up to everyone else. I think there may be others here who have questions for you guys or curiosities or would like to know more. So how about everyone, if you guys want to turn on your cameras and come on in. How about a quick round of introductions? Tell us your name, what country you're at. And then if you have questions, maybe start posing them in the chat and we can go one at a time that way.
Hi, my name is Jay. I'm from Australia.
Awesome.
Do you want me to ask a question or you like me to type? I can do
whatever you like.
Okay, I actually have two questions. One is because I'm very fortunate. I arrived Australia 15 years ago. I'm in Taiwan. We value like curriculum, exams, pressure, competition, famous university. And I arrived Australia. It's still the same, but less. And now hearing your experience, I wonder how does it work? Like your teacher are more centered on you. For you, when you find out about your friends, they are all stressed out on competing with each other, whereas you guys relaxed and get respected and curious and learn what you want to learn. I wonder how would that fit into the society? Like, will you become less competitive or less? Not less. Yeah, but were you worried you were a bit less and less competitive when you go outside the world, or how do the teacher? Yeah. Anyway, there's a lot, but I'm very excited to hear your thoughts. So
just to make sure that we understand your question. So competition. You're curious about the competitive nature of school, and maybe the kids can talk a little bit to that.
In my experience, there's still a lot of competitive kids here. My friend Anna found out that she was one rank lower than me in class rankings, and we constantly give each other flack about it. The difference is, it's if you choose to partake in the competition, so to speak. It's a friendly competition instead of a competition that is imposed on you from the outside. It's, I want to do better because I want to succeed instead of I have to do better or I'm going to flounder.
Just kind of going off of what Leo said is that I think Xavier definitely gets the misrepresentation as a non-academically competitive school, and that's just very wrong. I think the difference between Xavier and other schools is that we try to create well-rounded individuals and not just the next academic geniuses, which I think is the biggest flaw in the school system. Personally, we're trying to create future people, not just, scores and tests, and that's what Xavier has shown me.
Instead of taking or studying for a test that you're going to take once in your life, you build relations and you can understand how to interact with people and how to bring out your own voice. And we still have a competitive nature at Xavier. We have a lot of clubs and a lot of elections are involved in that. And I really went out of my way to be competitive, and I enjoyed it. And some kids didn't want to do it, and so they chose to refrain from joining in. A lot of kids did. They wanted to take their experience to that next level, and they did in fact compete. And I respect them for it, and I don't respect people that didn't compete any less. It's just their choice, and that it is what it is, so to speak. And I think it's really cool because, as Leo said, it's not imposed upon you. You, as a person, as an individual, get to decide what you want to do. And in life, I feel as though that's what you're going to have to do. There's going to be few people who are actually trying to get you to do something. It's going to be you leading yourself. And I think Xavier is building us as a people, as functioning members of society, not only for society's sake, but for ourselves. So
I would also say that we really feed off of each other. Like, for example, I'm just going to pick on him because he's in here, but Leo is one of my best friends, but he's also someone I really look up to and who helps me out with literally every subject. So it's just kind of like we admire each other, and we work. It is a academically strong school, and I currently have an internship that I have to do statistic math for, and I'm doing really fine with it. I feel like I'm well prepared, and I feel like I'm already succeeding.
Thank you, guys. Someone else would care to ask a question.
Yeah, hi, this is Upma. May I? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, hello to everyone. This is Upma from India. My question for you three is, as you were talking about competition, you guys have a very different kind of environment in your school, and it's a healthy competition, but it might happen like later on in your life, you will enter into different fields where you'll work, and it might happen that you might not face a similar kind of situation where there is not healthy, as you say, a non-healthy kind of competition. How would you deal, and how equipped you are with that to deal with it? How would you cope up with that? How would you deal with that?
I would say most of us come from unhealthy competition. A lot of us are at Xavier because we've been in that environment and that just wasn't it for us. However, like we know how to handle ourselves in any situation, I'd say. Owen and Leo, like we all compose ourselves very well. And I think we're able to just really kind of process anything really given to us and just kind of be able to just like go for it head on. We're not really scared of any challenges. We've been through it all. Like we all have passed at Xavier, and I think we're just ready to tackle anything.
I think that, like Ella said, we came from places that were not healthy competition in nature. And while that did strike me down initially in ninth grade and ended up sending me to Xavier, I now feel confident with myself. Since I've grown in this environment, I've got a I've got thick skin.
Unhealthy behavior in general is something that we are all familiar with at Xavier, and we don't really tolerate it because we're all friends here. And if we see someone doing something that is affecting another person or even harming themselves, we speak up. We don't speak up for the sake of speaking up. We speak up to help them. And I think that's beautiful. And it's one of the things that defines Xavier.
I think like Xavier students really want to be the change, and we're going to bring that with us to the outside world and really present that to other people. So.
Yeah, that's really, I mean, nice to hear that you all are so, ready for that. And I guess for that, Richard needs to be congratulated for. He has really worked wonders with you guys.
I wish I could take all the credit. I do feel fortunate that there's a whole community of learners, staff. We couldn't do this without the teachers, without parents, without outside resources. It's really a piece of work for all of us. But I am in awe. I had no idea how these guys were going to answer your question, because I had no way. How do I answer that? And I'm blown away by these young men and women. And so thank you for your curiosity and for your compliment. Someone else can join us.
Yeah, I'm Sushma Goel from India again. And Upma is also one of my friends. We are mentors here in India. Actually, I was listening to this conversation. What Upma ma'am has asked the question. I have a small, thought which came to my mind was that, okay, when you are in this environment, when the children are with you in Xavier's and all, once they come out of Xavier's, how confident the children are that they will be able to behave in the same manner in the society. Because we are more bothered when the children come to the society. They have to take care of their country, of everything. So this learning, how confident the children are to when they come in the society, they will be able to behave in the same pattern, same manner as they are doing now. Like they have a healthy competition and all. But once they come to enter the world after the Xavier's time, so how they will be able to react? They will be able to cope up in the same manner? As they are saying, they're having healthy competitions and everything. Okay, fine. But when they enter the real world, you can say.
So I'd love to take an opportunity to answer this a little bit and then invite our students to join in. So I think by focusing on personal growth and really learning to be our best self, right? That's the focus. And that has nothing, in my opinion at least, it has nothing to do whether you're in a classroom or in a different setting. But yeah, also, I think it's important for us to realize that part of us being very effective is actually getting our kids out into the world, right? Whether like Ella has an internship where every Wednesday she's not at school, she's out at a community center spending all day there, right? In a few weeks, I'm taking 10 kids to Costa Rica. We have another trip to Italy in January, Galapagos in April. We have internships. We use many businesses around Houston to work with, right? So yes, we may have a school culture that maybe makes it seem we do have a very safe place where students can be themselves and where there is a comfort level. By teaching our students to take responsibility and that they can be part of that process, that they can create the school that they hope and want for, I think that they're learning skills that transcend Xavier. And I can tell you, I think right now I'm up to about a dozen graduates that have come back to work here. They go to school, get their degrees, and now want to teach or want to explore different possibilities. So what do you guys think?
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Welcome.
Okay.
Lovely face.
So what I'm hearing from all the students are the way that how they receive education at Xavier and how they internalize it and the relationship they build with the teachers, with the environment and the school culture, how to cultivate their own self-confidence, right? And when they were asked about, you know, what would you do if you go to the outside world? The outside world would not be as safe as, and I really like Ella's response, which is, you know, we can adjust. And that capability, that self-confidence, it's shown in the way they express themselves. So I can tell, again, and Richard mentioned about the growth mindset. Like what he teach at the school is not just do well at school, or not just performing well, but know who they are. And when they know who they are, and they're confident in their own skin, then all of the other culture is just the, and also I think another thing is the capability of adjusting, understanding the environment and picking up, you know, all the other, like if you go into a corporation that is, the culture is really bad, it's really toxic, you will be able to identify it, right? And you can say to yourself, you want to stay to create the change you want to create. Or if you don't have, because you are at the bottom of the level of the corporation, you don't have a lot of power and you can't, then you have the choice to choose another corporation. But I see the sense of confidence, self-confidence in each of these students. And that, I think that's a result that you have to be proud of, Richard, because that is the chain in relational education. Now I learned the term relational education. I have done that, but I have not used that term, but it's truly relation education that helped them to become the person they are now. So kudos to the school and kudos to all of the students.
And what I find as well is that the widely recognized public education system, or the means in which education is most commonly delivered, is not a simulation of the real world. It's in the real world, you don't have to be a jack of all trades. You don't have to be good at social studies, English, math, and science. You pick which one you love the most. You pick which ones you love the most and which specific topics interest you. And in addition to that, the rigorous deadlines and unrelated coursework, a lot of the times it's busy work is given for the sake of making a class harder, just in order to give you credit because you survived. So that is not how jobs will work. Well, you'll be given some busy work, but most of it does actually pertain to what you're going to do. And Xavier has taught me and has taught all of us, I think, how to recognize what we need and what we want, and how to recognize what we want to change instead of sucking it up. If you have a problem with a class at a traditional public school, you just got to do it. There's no bones about it. At Xavier, you can work something out with the teacher. You can stay after school, or even you could write an essay instead of making a presentation or whatever. It teaches you to be a self-advocate.
I think like Xavier is what you make of it. You learn what you want and you can use those tools outside. But I've been to different schools. I've been to small private schools. I've been to big public schools, and then I've been to Xavier. And I can say I have learned the most at Xavier. I am confident in myself. I feel like I'm ready to go out into the world and tackle whatever comes my way. And I did not feel that way at my previous schools. And that's because I'm learning academically to the best of my abilities by going in for extra tutoring, whatever I need, but also being treated like, honestly, just a person, which I've never really felt like in the school system, and just being respected and my opinion matters. So.
And I think something that comes to the table that I think is important for all of us to acknowledge is that I think many of us present here have faced adversity, right? That just because we are in this wonderful environment does not mean this is an easy process. You know, the young men and women you see in front of you, you don't have the context of where they started or where they were a few years before. But I think one of the strengths that all these kids bring to the table is that they have experience being knocked down, and they've learned and continue to learn how to get back up. And that's a lesson that will carry for life. You know,
Can I say something?
Really,
Please.
one minute. I'm really very happy to see the confidence of the children, and that really matters. Basically, Xavier students have found they have a lot of confidence, which helps in tiding over in whichever situation you are. Really great. Nice talking to you. Thank you.
What I have felt is that they have learned the life skills, the confidence, the cooperation, the collaboration, and how to deal in difficult circumstances.
I'm actually very touched when Leo said the traditional school is actually not really a reality. It's actually a artificial. Because I'm a counselor, and I went to uni. I want to become a psychologist, and it's a lot of competitions, and I don't even know my classmates. And then I'm very fortunate to be trained as a counselor in very similar to where you come from, like the experience, the collaborative and caring and respect and trust. And because I come from a training that require me to do the right thing and think the right way, to an environment that I get an opportunity to share my thoughts and voice what's inside me, I do feel my confidence increased because of the diversity, the way my lecture allowed me to speak for myself. So for me to witness, you also experience that, I feel very touched, and yeah, I'm privileged to witness this.
May I just say something about future casting? First of all, I am blown away by all of you. I'm so proud to be even remotely associated with the school. I just really am choked up listening to you. But from my experience, and it's getting to be a long experience in life, what counts is really not so much my academic performance in high school. It's my ability to be flexible, to respond to what's in front of me, to figure out where I fit in. And those are all the qualities you guys are talking about. It's as you get to know each other, or yourselves rather, you'll be able to figure out, where do I fit into this structure? Does that really answer my need for creativity and engagement? And you'll be able to make decisions, and the world that you're going to is going to demand that of you. It's not an industrial world that we left behind, hopefully. So I'm just so sure you'll do well. This is great.
So one of the things I'll share with you guys, and I invited these guys to join here today, yesterday. just FYI. I walked around and just said, hey, what are you guys doing tomorrow? You know, can you just join? So what you're experiencing here is like, there was no preparation. There was, this is, and I'm sorry, my Teams is going off. I'm trying to find where to silence it. It's just very raw and very real is what I'm trying to say. Right? There's no preparation, just show up, be here, and look at what happens. So just so proud of these guys.
Mm.
So other questions, you know, I know like there's some of you that have been listening, and if you want to join in and ask something else, please feel free, or comment, reflections.
Yeah, exactly. I was just saying that it seemed after listening to the Xavierians that they have learned the life skills. They have learned how to take decisions, how to solve their problems. Like say, for example, they were bombarded with the questions by the interviewers and all, and they were they very nicely coped up with it, and they answered satisfactorily. So this was also one of the skills they have learned from there only. They never just stumbled up. They never got, like say, upset with the questions, how to tackle and how to answer them, but they were ready with the answers. So that skill they developed there only. So it's not only about the academics. It's not only about the subject and content which is learned in the school all over the world. It is the overall development of the personality which is there, and that makes you face the challenges of the world, and that is the real education, in my opinion.
So Owen, Ella, and Leo, as you hear some of these comments and the impression that you have made, what does that feel like for you guys?
For me, I just love showing people what Xavier is, because I feel like there is just so much misconception about what the school is, and oh, they're not going to be prepared because they go to this small school and they're coddled every step of the way. Right now, I'm handling school, an internship, and playing competitive soccer, and still maintaining all A's. And that is not something that is like normal. I wouldn't be able to do that at any other school. I wouldn't be able to have learned the coping skills and the time management skills to be able to do everything I want to do in my life right now. So I'm just very thankful every day, and I'm thankful to share with everyone whatever I can about Xavier.
Yeah, it's always nice to hear, because I used to feel a lot of shame that I didn't learn the way my friends did at my big public school. I couldn't function under all the different stimuli, and it doesn't make me any less intelligent. And Xavier has kind of opened me up to, well, it's not wrong to learn that way. And that's kind of what's reflected here.
It's nice to hear that what you're doing in terms of education is something that's not necessarily relatable, but is wanted by other people. And it's also very nice to address the misconceptions, as Ella said, that arise from people just not understanding what we're all about. And so I think that Xavier, you do have your academic portions and everything, but there's this hidden sense of there's this hidden course of self, I don't know how to phrase it, self-reliance, I suppose. that you are your own advocate and that you can change what you want to change. You can choose your own destiny, and there's nothing predetermined. There's nothing that you really can't do. And so it's quite nice.
I would say just one more thing before we leave is that I know the phrase don't judge a book by its cover may sound cliche, but it's truly the way I would explain Xavier has altered my path of seeing people. I'm a straight cisgender woman, but some of my closest friends are members of the LGBTQ plus community. I might have missed some new letters, I'm not sure, but they've just really opened my eyes to the entire world. And I can't say I would really understand all the struggles they go through and just how strong that community is if I didn't go to Xavier.
So I have one more question for Richard. Your teachers might be facing some challenges in the teaching learning process, as it is not a regular school, not a traditional one. So would you just share?
Sure. So one thought that comes to mind is that being a relational school and one that focuses on collaborative practices and doing the work that we do, we need to be careful not to romanticize it. It is hard work. It is challenge. It is not for everybody in the sense that, yeah, I have faculty that have been with me many years. I also have faculty that come and go because they're not a good fit, or our philosophy or approach, they're not willing or are flexible or interested. So yes, there are challenges. And likewise, like my teachers can start a class with 12 kids learning, let's say, geometry. By day 2, the differentiation, you can have some kids that are ready for the next lesson and some kids that need to review and some kids that totally forgot. I mean, you have the whole gamut. So that is not an easy thing to do, to individualize, to customize, to address these needs, right? But all I ask of everyone is that we do the best that we can with what we've got. And as long as we're doing that, you know, trust the process. We will do well. We will make it there. So there's a huge level of trust that also comes into this, but it is not easy work. It is very intense. It is very emotional, right? When you form these bonds and connections, we carry that weight with us home, right? In a good way. We celebrate these accomplishments. We also feel the pain when our kids feel.
Yeah, in our breakout room, I was talking to Sylvia. I was very intrigued with your relational approach, you know, and she told about being vulnerable for the teachers as well as the students. So the same thing that you were just talking about, that it's really difficult for a teacher to open up. And then we went into this discussion that there's a mold which is expected of a teacher. So generally, your teachers will not fit into that mold. And it must be a very difficult exercise for them to just unlearn whatever they have learned.